Chambers of the Occult may contain content that might not be suitable for all listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't even see it was recording.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Welcome.
What did
Welcome
your
back to
voice
the
get
most
all high
professional-
pitched now?
Welcome back to the most professional podcast on the interwebs.
Yeah.
Chambers of the Occult.
Chambers of the
Mabbers.
Occult, as you can see. Anyway, hi, I'm Kai.
I am Jay.
I'm Alexis.
And this is
I did finger guns as I said my name. I
cool.
don't know
See,
why.
don't you need like space
I did jazz hands.
gun
Yeah.
sounds when you do that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm
Yeah.
not the only one that thinks it. Okay. This is episode 19.
Crazy.
Yeah, what do we?
Yeah. And as y'all can tell, not the listeners, but as Kai and Alexis can tell by our title, like I have a surprise for y'all.
Mhm. Yeah, like
Yeah,
in our
what's-
recording thing, it's episode 19 with a surprise.
And then emoji with
I don't know what it
sunglasses
is.
on.
It's, yeah, a cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we're the cool kids club.
So
Anyways.
yeah.
What's the
Um,
surprise?
Debatable.
Whoa, someone's impatient.
I'm excited.
Well, I
And
mean,
Good,
the
good, good,
surprise.
I thought it would be about time because what am I saying? Whoa. Okay.
Oh,
What?
Guys.
what?
With surprise. Hi.
Hello.
Sabina?
Yeah.
Milo. Sabina and Milo.
I have this like crazy question.
Oh, you sound like you're in my
I
I
bathtub.
was in the
brother.
shower right now.
Why do I sound like I'm in your bathtub?
I don't
You
know.
literally
brother.
sound like you're in the shower.
It's pouring rain.
Hey, something's wrong.
Anyway, the
Anyway.
question?
Hang on, let me fix this. It won't let me change my microphone.
Once again,
settings.
folks, listeners, the most professional podcast.
Yeah.
What there?
I muted Milo for a minute so
We
he
had
can
our
fix it.
Aw.
Okay.
We're back again. Sorry, folks.
Hello.
Technical difficulties.
Welcome.
Welcome.
We're amazing at this.
Yeah,
And
we
that's
are.
why you guys should support us.
Mhm.
And we have some guests
Thank
with
you.
us that you have heard from before. Would they care to introduce themselves?
Sabina goes first.
Okay. I'm Sabina. Happy to be here. Third time. Long time listener.
Fuck yeah.
And then we also have
Hello, it's me, Milo. I'm the decorative mug that you are drinking out of that most likely has lead in it, and you should see a doctor.
my God.
That made 0 sense. I love it.
I
Yes.
love Katya.
Welcome back to Chambers of the Occult.
Chambers of the Occult.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Yes. So Sabina and Milo are joining us as listeners. They will chime in every here and there. And
We all have some type of alcoholic beverage. So I would implore you, listener, to also get an alcoholic beverage if you are of age.
If you're
Yeah.
Yes,
All
only
over.
if you are of
if you're
age.
drunk.
We
as you
do
said
not
that.
support underage drinking.
Yeah.
No,
As you
not
said
at all.
that, I realized that at least 3 out of the 5 of us have an alcoholic drink in our hand.
No,
We all do.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Should we share what we're drinking before we get into the stories?
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool. I am drinking a mango flavored vodka.
Nice.
Yeah, snaps all around.
Is it like a good mango or is it like an artificial mango?
It's
Ooh.
probably artificial. This
Yeah.
bottle is like 2 years old, if not more. Never been opened. It was just sitting in my closet for a day like this.
I thought you were joking about it being in your closet.
No, it was in there.
I respect it. Well,
So
I
sweet.
have a Cayman Jack margarita. Yum.
Ooh.
Yummy.
Nice.
Yeah, it was not from my closet. It was from my fridge.
Good.
Yeah.
Wise choice.
Yes, thank you.
I've got some port wine that I'm drinking.
Wow.
It's very good,
Nice.
very very nice wine.
Fancy.
Yeah.
I'm drinking my saliva.
Because Milo himself is intoxicating.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use
I wonder
that
if you
line.
could like ferment your own saliva.
I don't
to
think that's
create alcohol.
possible.
Oh, I was gonna say something gross, but I'm not gonna.
Cool.
Say it anyway.
Yeah.
Mm,
I mean, fermenting
Um,
saliva is already pretty gross, so
If
No, it's
it's too
worse.
gross, we'll cut it out. But I'll probably leave it
Okay.
in, to be honest.
no, we won't.
I don't remember what it's called, but some people will ferment human shit, and I don't know
Oh.
how they consume
Yeah.
it, but it'll get you like fucked up apparently.
Oh.
Got it. Well,
I'm gonna
Um,
I'm not cutting that out.
That doesn't cross my mind.
And lastly, we have Alexis.
Wait, Milo, don't you have like an Angry Orchard or some shit though?
It is purely for decorative.
Love angry
Oh.
orchards.
Purely for decoration.
Love a good cider.
Decreation. Nice.
Yes.
Alexa.
Sangria.
Ooh.
Cool.
Fuck yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
with that, have we got some stories for you? Pew pew pew.
Yay.
I also have Cookie Clicker running in the background. I currently have 13,000 cookies,
Wow.
and I'll let you guys know how many I have at the end of this episode.
Yes, we will need an
Nice.
update. Cool.
Yeah.
Alexis,
Yes, ma'am.
how are you doing?
Better than I deserve.
Did you know that you're going to start us off this week?
Oh my god, I had no idea.
That's crazy.
Well,
Yeah,
now you
I
do.
think I'm good actually.
Okay, go.
Okay. I have a question for you guys.
No.
And I have an answer for you.
Okay. Answer it if you want. If you don't, that's okay. Have any of you been to an amusement park or a water park? If so, which
Yes.
ones?
No, I live under a rock.
Mhm. Yeah, we know that, Patrick.
Raging Waters,
Yes.
Mm.
Great America,
Yes.
Yes,
Six
yes, yes.
Flags,
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah.
Boardwalk.
Which one, though?
Yeah.
Which Six Flags?
Yes.
Yeah, there's Magic Mountain.
Oh gosh. The one that's not like super down south.
So the one
of
that's
us?
up north?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
It was a long time ago.
I'm with you on that one. I don't know where any of the.
Yeah. They had rides.
Yep.
I know that much.
Tweety Bird was there.
Okay.
Have y'all been to
Crazy.
Gilroy Gardens?
Yes.
Ooh.
I have
Lived
not.
here my
I wanna
entire
go.
life. I've never been to Gilroy Gardens.
I went when it used to be called Bonfonte Gardens.
What
Oh, shit.
the
Uh-huh.
fuck?
Uh-huh.
Like ancient times.
Damn it. Okay, well,
Yeah, why are you asking?
because today I'm talking about Action Park.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Have you gone,
So-
Milo?
Oh god.
Bro, he wasn't
no.
born. Well, actually, never mind. Let me
Get into your story.
let me get into it. All right. So Action Park was pretty well known. As you can see, Milo even knows about it. It says a lot about him, to be honest with you. But
You have no idea.
I just want to like warn you guys that I have like 5 pages worth of information, and that's not even like half of it. So I am gonna like go into more depth if you listeners want me to for another episode, because I definitely could. But for now, I'm just gonna go over like the main focus, I guess, of what I want to discuss today.
Cool.
So Action Park was an amusement park / water park in Vernon Township, New Jersey.
Joyzy.
Okay, so now you've offended the New Yorkers.
I knew you were going to say that too.
Jersey.
And that's exactly why I did it. Anyways,
You know who she hasn't offended though?
Californians,
The Romanians.
Floridians. I would never.
Mm.
And that's because she can't do a Romanian accent.
That is very true.
What kind of fan are you?
A respectful one.
Let's go.
Wow, okay. Carry on.
So, it was like any other amusement park, really. A lot of people wanted to go there. The only thing that kind of made it different from the others is they didn't go there for the fun. They went for the danger of it.
Fuck yeah.
So,
Okay.
before I talk about the park itself, I do want to talk about what led up to this point. So this kind of takes place in the 1970s. It's New York, and at the time, the one thing that was very popular was Wall Street. Now,
Mm.
listeners, if you don't know what Wall Street is, Wall Street, or any of you, really, it's a street in Lower Manhattan in the financial district. So, a bunch of businessmen. Yes.
I like how you were explaining it like it's no longer there.
Yes, it is still there.
I know, but
But,
you were
like-
explaining it like it's no longer there.
It is still there. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, you're right. My bad. It is still there, by the way, guys. And a lot of businessmen and salesmen are there still currently. But one during that time that was pretty well known was a man named Gene Mulvihill. I love Gene, by the way. He kind of reminds me of somebody. So
Flower
Gene,
Gene.
Billie Jean.
not my love. Okay, anyways. So Gene, he owned a brokerage firm. It was called Mayflower Securities. And anytime every sale that he would make, immediately he would crack open a champagne bottle and celebrate with his coworkers. And
Fuck yeah.
yeah, that was just kind of like the guy that he was. And another thing that
Okay.
was pretty poppin' was penny stocks. So those of you who may not know what penny stocks are, it's basically just this scam where salesmen take worthless stocks and trick investors into buying them. And there was a penny stock king.
Isn't that like the plot of The Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
So
Yeah.
is this what you're
Nice.
covering?
No.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, she won't cover him, but she will cover Josh Hutcherson.
Oh, I love Josh Hutcherson. Thank you for mentioning him.
Shout out, Josh.
Oh my
Did you see that
God.
new short film he's doing? Or whatever it is.
No?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There's another Five Nights at Freddy's coming out too.
Okay.
I still need to watch the
6
first one.
nights at
And
Freddy's.
Howl's Moving Castle is in theaters right now. Josh Hutcherson voices in Howl's Moving Castle.
Sick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does. Anyways, so the penny stock king during that time, he was a man named Robert Brennan, but he was also Gene's best friend. So Brennan actually started working for Gene in Mayflower Securities. And within like a few years of working there, by 1974, he became the president of the company. And while this company was under the supervision of Gene and Brennan, it wasn't long after that the company was suspended by the SEC. And the New York Times actually wrote an article about it and said that the reason for the suspension was, quote, selling its customers worthless securities in a bankrupt electronics company, end quote.
Damn.
After this, Gene Mulvihill was ultimately just kicked out of Wall Street. And he, as a result, was like, all right, I'm going to buy some ski resorts. So he did. He bought 2 ski resorts by the name of the Great Gorge and Vernon Valley.
Nice.
So they were about 45 miles away from the metropolitan area of New York City. So there was a lot of traffic going to that area. But there was also a population of 20,000 people in Vernon Township. There was also a state park in Vernon. It was the way. I don't know how to say this, bruh. I should have looked it up. The Wawayanda State Park.
Boom.
All right.
Sounds right to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a lot of like locals, residents, and tourists that were making their way there. So basically, those two ski resorts would have a lot of people coming through. And in the 70s, a lot of people loved Vernon. It was a place where you could do pretty much anything. In the winter, you could ski. In the summer, you could hike. The terrains were so beautiful. The nature was so nice that a lot of people wanted to spend their time outside. And plus, it was just like a small, cute little town where everyone pretty much knew each other. It was kind of like that kind of town that you hear about in movies kind of thing. But but another thing at the time that kind of helped this idea was Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner,
Hugh
What?
Hefner.
Okay.
he decided to open up a Playboy club in Vernon.
Fire.
So
Okay.
For everyone.
there was a lot of people coming for the Playboy Club, and there were celebrities coming pretty much every week to come and sing. So a lot of people would come just to see those singers. Vernon was slowly starting to become the Las Vegas of New Jersey. So
Okay.
That's cool.
Whoa.
Actually, it's kind of crazy.
And one thing Hugh Hefner knew was that gambling was taking over a lot of places during that time, and he suspected that it would slowly start to take over New Jersey as well.
Mm.
And at the time, Gene Mulvihill, he was attracting some investors, but since it was the winter, he decided to like take advantage of the fact that he has ski resorts. So he just kept on going with the winter and eventually even made it a artificial winter. He decided to build the world's largest snowmaking machine out of a jet
That's
engine.
sick.
Whoa.
Okay.
What? How would that would have worked?
Okay.
I have no idea, dude.
Wait. What?
Yeah, I can send a picture of it if you guys want.
If
Yeah.
Okay.
just we'll put it on the Instagram.
Yeah, but
But
it is quite.
I can get behind that.
Right, world's largest snowmaking machine.
Yeah, that's
Snow
pretty sick.
all day, every day. That's kind of crazy. Okay,
Good for
I
I'll,
wonder if we could combat global warming with that.
oh for sure.
Here's how we can
Add
still
the
win.
glaciers back into the ocean.
Yes, I like the way you think.
Yeah.
We won't know till we try.
Right?
What do we?
Let's give it a twy.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll find the picture later and I'll send it to you guys.
Yeah, no worries.
Because
Gotcha.
it's taking forever to find it now. But so yeah, he made the world's largest snowmaking machine. He had really big plans for the new land that he bought, I guess, the new resorts that he bought. And he did want to do something different for the summer though. He took advantage of the fact that summer came and he spent all that downtime building rides. And he kind of had an idea for what he wanted to build for his amusement park where you get on your skis and you control how fast you're going and where you're going so you can choose where to go in the amusement park.
That's kind of cool.
I like that idea.
But it also says a lot about him, you know, what kind of guy he is, what kind of things he comes up with, you know. He did truly believe that New Jersey would become like the next theme park destination. He even told customers that they're going to be the next Disneyland.
Whoa.
Ambitious.
Oh, big
Yeah.
aspirations.
So in
Mm-hmm.
1976, Gene had decided to turn one of the steep ski trails This ski trail ran for 2,700 feet.
Oh.
And
Holy shit.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
yeah, and he turned it into what it was called as the Alpine Slide.
Oh.
See, that sounds cool though.
It sounds fun.
It sounds really fun, right?
Oh,
So-
just wait.
I've heard of this before.
I like how
think,
Mila knows
a
where
long
this
time
is
ago.
going, and I'm just like, oh, I would
know.
go on
Everyone's-
that.
Yeah, so far so good.
So the park, Action Park, also known as like Vernon Valley Summer Park, it was officially opened in 1978. Now, when I did research, I did find two different dates. So there's May 26th and July 4th. I believe that it was announced on May 26th and that they like actually opened on July 4th. But oh wait, no. It opened on May 26th. July 4th they had, I believe, some promotion days is what it is. But they had two opening promotion days, and the first day was a Dolly Parton lookalike contest.
Let's
Fuck
go.
yeah.
Yes.
And the second day
I'd win.
was
Just like you won Corn Queen.
Yeah.
wait away. And then the second day was a tobacco juice spit-in contest.
All right.
Like how far you could spit your tobacco juice?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd win that too. I have mouth cancer.
I don't know if
As
you,
Dolly Parton.
I was gonna say I don't know if you should. But anyway, so the park had 3 different sections. I'm gonna name them all eventually, but I'm only gonna name one right now. And that's Waterworld. So Waterworld had a lot of water slides, of course. It had a small but deep swimming pool. It had a tennis court and a softball field.
Dang.
Yeah,
Sick.
and then in 1980, Gene had carved out the swamplands, kind of like it was just across the street from them, basically.
Mhm.
So it went over State Route 94, which takes you to New York.
New York, New York.
New York, New York. See, now you've
New
offended
York.
the New Yorks. New
The
Yorkians.
New Yorks.
I don't know. I don't know what you
New
call them.
York.
I
had a
think you
bacon, egg, and
offended them
cheese
by
this
calling them
morning.
the New
Bacon, egg, and
Yorks
cheese.
rather than New
Bacon, egg, and
Yorkers.
cheese.
Oh, New Yorkers. Yeah, that's right.
I like
The New Yorks. Yeah. Those
My fault.
people.
Okay, go ahead.
So the park combined stood on 250 acres.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Pretty big. It was also not only the country's but the continent's earliest and largest modern water park.
Wow.
It had a total of 75 rides.
Damn.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a ton.
35 of them were motorized self-controlled rides, and the
Mm.
other 40 were water slides.
Okay.
That's a
crazy.
shit ton of water slides.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why it was so
How do
popular.
you even design that many?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gene did kind of want his park to be like no other park, of course. He really only came up with rides that were meant for thrill seekers.
I'd be there.
So I did
Yeah.
mention that there were 3 sections of the park. So there was Alpine Center. That's where the Alpine Slide is.
Yeah.
There's Waterworld, which I just briefly talked about. And then there's Motor World. There was
That
one
sounds
ride.
scary.
Yeah, there was one ride that was pretty infamous at the time. You were pretty much met with it as soon as you stepped in to the park. And it was called the Cannonball Loop.
That just sounds
Cannonball
dangerous.
Loop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the Cannonball Loop is pretty much a slide. It's an enclosed tube, meaning it's hella dark,
Oh
Nope.
shit.
and you go through, and at the end, you go into a loop. It's a vertical way straight up into
No,
that
I'd
loop.
be so panicked.
Now,
and then like, yeah, I'm sure you're getting into it, but like getting stuck in there because you don't have the momentum
Mhm.
going, or like,
No.
okay.
I'm
It's
gonna
like one of my
send-
biggest fears, not gonna lie.
Understandable, dude. That's scary. Like, because what do you even do? You can't do anything. You're pretty
I mean,
much
I know
helpless.
modern water slides have like access points to like get
Yes,
people out, but
hatches.
still,
Yeah.
like,
I'm gonna send
anyway.
a
Yeah.
picture to you guys of the cannonball loop. Really
Wait, there's
quickly.
water in the loop?
Yes,
Oh shit.
that's the only way you can get through that loop.
Imagine the friction burn.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
If you-
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember this picture.
So the cannonball
Oh, wait,
loop
that's
was
actually pretty small. I thought that was bigger.
I thought yeah, I
Oh.
would think it
the
was
fact that
bigger
it's
as well.
small
Okay,
makes
but
it
the fact
so
that it's
much
small
worse.
makes it worse because
Yeah,
there's so much
exactly.
more like inertia
Yeah.
and like the force.
Oh,
Exactly.
Oh, why is it so
I thought my
tiny? What
body,
the
like,
hell?
bending
Okay.
that way.
I feel like
I mean, I
you
guess
need
this was
you
like
need
the
to sign a-
80s. They didn't know what safety was back then.
No.
That was safe back then.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So it was built in 1983 and it was scary, you know? It's super dark. You're going really fast. You don't exactly know where you're going, when you're going. And the tube itself was made with fiberglass.
Oh, fuck.
So the slide overall was just a really risky thing. So risky that employees were offered $100 just to give it a test run.
No.
I
Then
would
why the
take the
fuck did they make it an
$100.
actual usable slide? What?
One of
Also,
the
look how
park.
shallow that pool looks.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like,
Mhm.
it... Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's just like a small drop too, so you could just go in and it's going hard against
You
that
look
water
like
too.
you just hit the
You
floor when
basically
you come down from the
backflop.
slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So one of the park employees at the time, his name was Tom Fergus. He took the offer and he stated, "quote $100 did not buy enough booze to drown out that memory." End quote.
Oh my gosh.
Poor guy.
Yeah, dude. These employees went through
Needs
a lot.
milk.
Yeah, I imagine him saying that while like smoking a cigarette.
So
I
you
just
did say,
imagine
how did
that-
this
Go ahead.
go on?
I was just gonna say $100 could buy a lot of booze back in the 80s.
Yeah, 100. Okay, let me see how much. 100.
I'll do it. You keep going. You
Yeah,
keep
okay.
going.
Okay, so you did ask why did they make this an actual ride? So the state advisory board on carnival amusement ride safety ordered that the slide be closed after
Good.
being open for like 1 month.
Good.
They did open it in 1985 and they closed it again a month later. And a lot of riders came out of the slides with like bloody noses, back injuries, lacerations on
Oh
them.
my gosh.
And at first, they were really confused because the park was just trying to understand why they had come out with lacerations and so many. So they did a further
Fiberglass.
investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, a lot of people thought it was the fiberglass, but they found teeth lodged inside the walls of the tube.
Huh?
Oh, wait, that means people were coming out without their
Like-
teeth.
Yeah, people like banging their
What?
heads into it and what
Oh
the
my
fuck?
gosh.
So all those lacerations were from being scrubbed against those teeth.
Ooh. Going so fast too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So then Gene hired a Navy physician, and he wanted to find out the effects of the slide.
Do you mean physicist?
No, a
I
physician.
think that's what you
A
meant.
doctor to assess like
That's what it said. That's what my
damage?
research said.
Okay.
Unless it's a physicist, we'll say physicist because that makes more sense.
Physician.
That is a physicist.
Okay, well continue. Maybe extra context is what
A
we
professional.
Yeah.
Yes, a
carry on.
professional. To see what they were trying to see is how fast, I guess, how they were going.
Mm.
need. Okay.
and they had experienced 9 Gs of acceleration.
Whoa.
That's the same as a supersonic
Yeah.
airship called the F-415, the F-14.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Oh,
you like
man.
pass out
Yeah.
near that or before that?
Yeah,
That's
dude.
crazy.
This
There
people
was also-
paid money for this.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, he worked in Wall Street, so he must have made a lot of money.
No. I'm saying
Especially
the
being the
people that
big
went to
guy.
the park.
Oh,
like,
yeah, they
paid
wasted a lot of
for
money
this.
going.
Yeah.
But that was the point of going. That's what that's what people went for, though. They
Yeah,
went
I know that's
because
what they went for, but I
That
don't
is
think that you would
insane.
expect to
9
walk out
Gs
without your
is
teeth.
insane. I'm still on that.
Mhm.
Because
So
like
there's-
military pilots,
Yeah.
like 9 Gs in like the craziest times of
And
like
you're just
turns
on
and shit.
vacation.
You're
And then-
You're just on
water
vacation.
slide. Like you're looking at this picture, like you're taking 9 Gs of force directly into the ground. Because like
Yeah.
look
This
at
is
the angle of it where it like
This
meets the
is-
floor to go to the loop. That's
Ooh.
crazy.
It's like the start of that that lethal roller coaster the guy made.
Yeah, the
Oh,
suicide
yeah.
roller
This
coaster.
is the first loop.
I was gonna bring that up earlier, but I'd go on it.
Okay, well, they would have offered you $377.
Today.
Yes.
Not worth it.
I think I'd do it.
Oh.
Because it's over
I
with
would.
fast.
I'd take $337,000. I mean,
Oh,
The thing is, I might come up
70,000.
with lacerations.
Where did the 1,000 come from?
Okay, but imagine you
Yeah.
get some like life-threatening like damage going
That's
down.
okay.
Yeah, I also assume that when they offered this
Okay.
money to the
Yeah.
employees were
money.
not where like someone had to test it out and the employees were the first ones and they didn't know
That's-
that this was going to happen.
That's what.
That's the thing is I would do it if I didn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I was like one of the first people, sure.
Okay.
But
So there was actually a
Yeah, go
story being spread about this. That's why I'm cutting in. I'm sorry. I'm so excited to
No, go ahead.
say this part.
Carry on.
Go on.
So there were test runs, of course, that were done before opening the slide up to the public. But there was a story that was told to the Weird NJ. It's a newspaper. And actually check it out though. Weird NJ has some sick stuff. But anyways, they had said that there were test dummies. So not real live people, test dummies that were going through the slide, and they came out dismembered and decapitated.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Decapitated?
Yes.
Oh,
And they said, yeah, that's fine.
And it was like
Yeah.
at first it was like just a story, but it was confirmed by Gene's son, Andy Melville.
Oh my god.
That's
Yeah, he
that-
confirmed it to
ooh.
the New York Times.
that's fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys still
Funny
go down
you
it?
guys say that.
Uh,
Andy Melville was the first person to test out the slide as well. And he wore ice hockey gear to protect himself.
He let his son.
Okay, the fact
Yeah, that's kinda
that you
fucked
even
up.
think you need that gear in the first place going down a slide is like it's like a red flag enough.
I was
Cool.
also going to ask if the hockey equipment helped him.
And how old was the son?
He's like 6.
It doesn't actually say how old he was at the time, but I'm pretty sure he was just a teenager. And he said that it wasn't fun. He did not like it. He did not like it. So
Aw.
Well, Andy, you didn't do your chores, so now you gotta go down the slide. It was
All
a
right, son, time
punishment.
to earn your keep.
what are we? So another thing that you guys mentioned is getting stuck. So that did happen. A lot of riders did get stuck in the tube if they were too big or too small.
Oh my god.
Um,
I'd have a panic attack.
yeah, riders were
Oh, and I'm
weighed
sure they did.
before they were hosed with cold water. They were told to remove their jewelry, and they were instructed on how to position their body. But still, some people got stuck, and so they added a hatch at the top of the loop so that they could take them out.
Mm.
Oh. People would get stuck at the top of the loop?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like
No.
they would get sent up a little bit. I imagine. but
Exactly.
they
Yeah,
couldn't
you
get fully
catch air a
pushed
little bit.
forward,
Oh
and
my
they just get
God.
stuck because the friction
Yeah.
on the top of it.
I assume that the water is still running. If you got stuck
That's
in
what
a
I was
certain
thinking of as
position,
well.
would you?
Yeah, the
get
water's still
in?
running, but it's not going to go through the loop.
It's just
Couldn't you
passing
just like
through.
shimmy your way a little bit and then you would eventually just like fall back down the loop?
I don't know if you would
Well,
have room to
Not unless you're
shimmy.
stuck.
I don't know
That's
how
true.
fiberglass feels
Force, you know?
against water on
Not
skin.
good.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I know how. Yeah, probably not good. But anyways,
Yeah, carry on.
so it was closed, like I said, but they did open it every now and then. They opened it in the summer of 95 and 96.
When no
They're
one's
like,
looking.
yeah, we can afford another lawsuit right now. Open it.
And I'm sure that every time they opened it, there was a line of people waiting to go on
Oh
it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, there definitely were. There was a video released in 2018 by a former writer. He basically just took a video, which is like the picture that I sent you. It's essentially like a clip of it, like a photo capture of that video.
Oh.
Okay.
But Gene didn't necessarily design these rides at first. He did kind of add his own twist to them, but people were essentially lining up, tracking him down just to show him ideas for essential rides, like next rides. And all of these people that were making their way to Gene, they didn't have any degrees or background in engineering at all.
Why would they?
No, why would they?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that later, but yeah, go ahead.
So like they were just showing him, designs, and he was like, okay, cool. Yeah, let's do it.
After a short break, we'll get back to you. Enjoying the episode so far? Well, check us out on all of our social medias at Chambers of the Occult. You won't miss it. You won't regret it. And we're back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, and we're back. Anyways, so these guys giving him cool ideas. He's kind of just taking them. As soon as he would take these designs that the people were giving him, he'd just like make them his own. He would just erase some things. He'd be like, actually, I think I like this better. And he would make them more extreme. He'd make them more scarier. There was actually one idea that Gene had. He was in a restaurant and he drew a circle on a cocktail napkin.
Mm-hmm.
So we hired some local welders.
Red flag number 1.
And he put them together.
The welders. Yep.
And that's when
Human centipede.
and that's when the cannonball loop came to be.
Wow.
So that's when he created the
Bro really
cannonball
grabbed
loop.
a piece of a napkin and he was like, guys, let me cook. And motherfucker drew a circle.
He said,
And he
"This
said,
is
guys,
groundbreaking."
this
is
it.
good enough.
This
He
is how we go
literally
big.
reinvented
Yeah.
the wheel.
I liked it.
I hate to say it, but you're not wrong.
So
That is exactly how it went down.
it is. It was all just really an experiment for Gene, and these experiments were often tested by his employees, which mainly consisted of teenagers.
Yeah, they were not paid enough, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, dude.
No, not at all.
A vast majority of his employees during that time were underage. They were underage, they were undertrained, and they were under the influence of alcohol and weed. You name it.
Yes.
Okay.
Love the ladies.
So that's why they work there.
Yeah, pretty much. There was actually a shack on the top of the, like near the Alpine slide that they would go. It was basically like their clock-in station, but they treated it as not that at all. They would go there to
Was
either
it treated
smoke
like a
weed
love
or
shack?
yes,
Or do
yes, it was.
nefarious things.
They'd smoke weed or do nefarious things. Yes, with each other. But
That
yeah,
teenagers should not do. Ever.
No.
and a lot of the supervisors and ride operators were teenagers too. To be a ride operator, at that time, you had to be 16. A lot of them were 14.
Oh.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Labor laws.
Can you guys just think about yourselves at 14 and like imagine being in charge of
Dude,
rides?
I was wearing
At
like cat t-shirts
Uh,
and just trying to like get through like 7th grade science class. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to work at Wendy's.
Okay, valid.
At 14?
Yeah, they were paying 16 an hour at the time.
Oh, I tried to become an emancipated
Wow.
minor at 14, I think.
Did
or like 14
you?
or 15.
Oh my
I
god.
tried to be because I was like, I hate my parents. And I,
Yeah.
you know, want my own autonomy.
Angsty.
I don't know any
And
teenager
my uncles,
that
for some
have that
reason,
face.
encouraged it. I
Okay.
don't. Anyway, yeah. Memory
Could have ran
unlocked.
away to New Jersey.
I lived in a
Rejoicing.
trailer.
Nice.
Let's go.
Anyway, 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
For your safety.
Yeah,
Right.
14-year-olds. Jim Desai, he was a worker during that time.
What did
I
he
think
say?
Jim
Thank you. I was
Desai.
thank you.
I'll type it in the chat too. Jim Desai. So
What does he say?
I don't know. He said he worked there.
And what else?
Okay, so it doesn't say what age he started. Oh wait,
So Jem
19.
didn't
He
say
started
what-
at 19.
Okay.
I just did the math.
Okay.
He started at 19, and it doesn't say what he started as. I believe he was a cook though, and within 2 years he worked his way up to security director of the park.
He was a
Oh,
cook,
wow.
but then
Yes.
became
Question.
security director?
He
Yes.
said, "Let me cook."
Is it Jim
Yeah,
wait a
Desai or Jim Deslay?
Jim Desai.
Oh, that was Sabina. Okay, got it. I thought it was Alexis again.
I just
I didn't even see that.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
These kids didn't care. They were working in this park because they liked it and they thought it was cool, you know. They wanted money, but they didn't actually enforce any of the rules and regulations of the park. A lot of the time, height and weight restrictions were ignored. Now, I do kind of want to take this time to talk about some notorious rides. So I did briefly mention the Alpine Slide.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to get to the Alpine Slide, you had to take a chairlift, basically like a
Okay.
gondola,
Like skiing.
like
type of
skiing,
thing.
exactly. And it would take you to the top of the slide, and below the path of the
Yeah,
chairlift,
slide.
below the path of the chairlift, there were the riders down below in the slide. And attached to the chairlift was the sleds that they would use on the slide. And it literally took the slightest nudge with their elbow to cause them to fall. And they'd
The
fall right on top of
slightest.
people.
Oh, do you know how high up it was?
I believe it was at 100 feet.
Oh, shit.
I thought you were
Like,
gonna say like
The slide,
20.
but like, how high was like the gondolas above the
No,
slide?
that's what I'm saying. That
We're
the
100
Oh
feet
my
up,
God.
yeah.
Oh my god.
so people will fall 100 feet.
No, not people.
Oh,
The sleds.
Oh, I was like, oh my gosh.
No.
Okay, so
The
the
sleds
sleds were barely tethered
Okay.
on.
Yeah, they were barely
Okay.
tethered on. So they would
But
nudge them with their elbow, and then they'd fall on top of people.
That's what were the sleds made out of? Metal?
Yeah.
Plastic?
I think they were also made with fiberglass. Pretty much everything in the park was made
Yeah,
with fiberglass.
like some type of like carbonate. Or
Yeah.
some-
Nice.
Still, any object hitting you at 100 feet, man.
Yeah.
This man.
Yeah.
That's lethal.
gotta hurt.
That is lethal.
They'd also spit on the people below,
Of course.
and they'd
Normal thing.
say all kinds of nefarious things. But the sled also had like a stick. We see these kind of things now, but they're not in water parks. But it's the stick that you use to control or how fast you're going, where you're going,
like
things like
brake.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly, like a brake and
Yeah, because you said a
accelerator.
lot of them were like self-operated, right?
Yes, they are self-operated.
Hmm.
So if it wasn't used correctly, the stick, sometimes you would lose control and you would fall out.
Oh,
But the but the alpine slide wasn't necessarily built for people to stay on it.
Oh.
It was all sorts of crazy. So even if somebody could stay on it, that was like a huge accomplishment. A lot of people, even the workers during that time, claimed that the speed was so fast they called it death awaits.
Ooh.
Oh,
When the
yeah.
employees call it that, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Nice.
The
Nice.
slide itself was made with concrete, fiberglass, and asbestos.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was this the rainbow colored slide?
Was this what?
The rainbow colored slide? I'm trying to remember.
No, it's not a rainbow colored slide. It's
Okay.
like slate gray.
Ah,
But the Alpine slide was also where the first death at Action Park occurred.
Ooh.
yeah.
So
The
First of many, I would assume.
yeah, George Larson Jr. He was 19 at the time, and he wanted to go to Action Park on July 8th, 1980. And he went on the Alpine slide, but he was thrown from the slide after his cart jumped the track, and he struck his head on a rock.
Oh.
Ooh.
He was then in a coma, and he passed away on July 16th.
Whoa.
Damn. Do
Gene
you know how long
Mulva-
he was in a coma for?
Yeah, from July 8th until July 16th. So
Oh
8
my
days.
8 to 16.
Got it.
Okay.
I can't math.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. 8 days today. Gene Mulvihill, he did lie to the reporters. He said that Larson Jr. was an employee at Action Park, which meant that his death didn't need to be reported to state regulators because it
Whoa.
wasn't
No
a member of
way.
society.
Oh.
No way.
Okay. I'm
Because
sure that's great to hear
employees
as an
don't count as
employee. Yeah.
members of society.
Employees don't have rights.
Nah, we
all
don't.
know that.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately. We slaves to the money. Anyways, so Larson Jr., he did work as a ski loft operator, but he worked in the ski loft. He didn't work in Action Park.
But it was
Okay.
it was owned by the same guy.
Yes, owned by the same guy.
Oh.
So he's just
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. He only worked a few days, so it wasn't long.
Oh.
Still, whether he worked in that ski loft or not, it was a ski loft. It wasn't Action Park, so the death did still need to be reported.
Yeah.
State
Yeah.
regulators did tell Gene Mulvihill to remove the rocks that were there pretty early
Good.
on. No, they actually told him way before.
Oh, but he just
Before?
didn't.
He didn't.
Okay.
good.
Oh.
And the state
See-
records, yeah.
No, I'm just trying to figure out how people used to run businesses.
No,
Anyway,
seriously. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know. They just didn't care about anything. This was
I get
literally
it.
like I was watching a documentary about it this morning because I watched it before. I watched it a couple years ago. It's called Class Action Park. Yeah. There's so many names for this park. There was Class Action Park. There was Traction Park, Accident Park. Yeah. But
Of course.
this documentary, I do recommend watching it if you're interested. It's on Max, I think, but it might be on other things too. But so the state records did show that between the year of 1984 and 1985 that there were 14 fractures and 26 head injuries. that had gone in the
God.
Alpine slide.
Wow.
Yeah,
14
Just
fractures.
from the one ride?
just from the one ride.
Oh my gosh.
Do they know what kind of fractures?
No, well, there were wrists. Their wrists were broken a lot of the time.
Oh.
Yeah, their shoulders would be dislocated. Yeah, but there was also the tidal wave pool.
Someone's gonna drown.
Okay, I think
love a wave
I've
pool.
heard
Yeah,
I think someone
about
did
that.
drown.
I mean, Great America also had a wave pool kind of like that. I think somebody died there too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I always
Didn't
loved the
know
wave
that.
pools as a kid, though.
so fun.
Oh yeah, this wave pool is different.
Because it's for thrill seekers.
Crazy.
Those that
You wouldn't get
want
it.
an
brother.
adrenaline rush.
Yes. The thrill seekers.
It's not like the other girls.
I'm not like other girls.
I'm not like other wave pools. I kill people.
Yeah.
Yes,
Here, I'm gonna send a picture.
Nonchalant.
on purpose.
People were pretty much like shoulder to shoulder sometimes when they were in the wave pool. Yeah, it was
Like
pretty.
a crowd
so it was
surge, but in
packed.
water.
Yeah, it was packed. Yeah, it was pretty packed. Here, I'm sending it right now. Okay, so the tidal wave pool, it opened in 1891, but
When?
1981. 1981.
1891 is
1991.
Whoa!
1981.
No wonder so many people were dying.
Do you think Sarah went
My
there?
fault. Yeah.
Favorite one? That I thought it was that was their favorite one.
Yeah, it was her favorite one.
Yeah, she didn't need a pool. She just went here.
Whatever.
That's why she didn't have a pool on her property.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more
Makes sense, right?
Someone's
But
a
the
survivor.
lifeguards that worked in that pool, they didn't call it tidal wave pool. They called it the
Oh, what
grave pool.
Whoa.
And then this were
Nice.
like what, 14-year-olds still, or how old were they?
14 to 19, 21.
Of course, they're
They're
gonna
young.
give it this names.
Oh, yeah. The pool itself was 100 feet wide, 250 feet long. And for 20 minutes consistently, waves would be generated and they'd reach as high as 40 inches, which is like 3 feet.
Yeah,
Damn.
that would look cool until you're in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. With a
Um,
bunch of other people.
Exactly.
I do want to say, I was watching the documentary, and one thing that one of the former employees like quoted and said was that people expected to drown when they went to the
Oh.
wave pool.
Oh,
Like they didn't go.
Oh, they saw this coming.
Yeah, like they knew.
They're like, if I die, I died.
At least I'll die a hero.
Literally the biggest fuck it we ball
Yeah.
is out
Okay,
there.
we ball. So, 20 minutes of consistent waves that are going as high as 3 feet with only 10 minutes worth of a break. 12 lifeguards were working at once for this
my God.
one ride.
that's a ton.
They
Sorry, that's a dozen.
That is a dozen. So each of those lifeguards, they saved around 20 to 30 people every hour.
Every hour?
Every hour.
I feel like it would turn into a competition, and you would just start dragging random people out.
Yeah, dude. At
How
that
many
point,
people are you saving today?
At that point, it's not how many you don't count how many you save, you count how many you lose. Like,
no, seriously.
Fair.
So the reason why the wave pool was so dangerous was because it's not as buoyant as ocean water. It's fresh water. So it makes it
Oh.
harder, more difficult to swim through those waves.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Got it.
on July 24th, 1982, a 15-year-old by the name of George Lopez, he actually drowned in
George
the pool.
Lopez?
Yeah.
I was
George
George
Lopez.
Lopez, no.
Yeah, he drowned in the pool and he passed away. He was, again,
gosh.
only 15.
Yeah, wow.
I can see why the lifeguards were like, it's like we save a ton of them by every hour.
Yeah. It was a lot. It was really a lot, and there was every single attraction. Like I said, there's 75 rides. Every single one of them, someone got hurt. It was never like, oh, this ride is safer than this ride. No, I could describe this ride as one of the worst rides, and then I take a look at the next one, and then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
nope, that one topped it.
That's okay. They were all
Eh,
bad
just-
in different ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone got injured.
Gotta pick your poison.
Everyone got injured there. This is another. I'm not supposed to be mentioning this because I was gonna save it, but I want to say it because I think it's kind of crazy. The park employees took a spray bottle, like a Windex bottle, and they put alcohol and iodine in it.
Oh,
And so
for what?
every person that got hurt would get sprayed with it.
Eh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they wouldn't get,
Just
like,
had to
infected
have
with
that
shit.
ready.
There was like this bodybuilder guy that got like a scrape on his leg and his arm, and he got sprayed with it, and he was crying. It hurt
Wow.
so bad.
I
Yeah,
think that just
bet.
comes to show you how common this was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they had to have that
100%.
like on the go.
Yeah, they don't have any medical team, nothing. They just have
Yeah, no
teenagers with
first aid
spray
kit.
bottles.
Just a Windex bottle.
Just
Oh my god.
No, I cannot. No, okay, go ahead. Ooh.
So there was like all of these rides are that I'm mentioning right now are rides that are like still here. They're just a lot more safer. I
What?
guess. Yeah, like have you
To
been?
this day?
Yeah, like Great America. Great America has the wave pool.
Oh, I thought you
Oh, I
meant
thought you meant like Action Park still
No,
exists.
sorry.
Yeah, that's what I thought you
you're
meant
right.
too.
That's confusing. You're right.
I see.
Some of the rides are still there though.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, some of the rides are still there, but they're like more safer. I think the wave
Yeah.
pool is there, but I think it's like a lot
Super
I mean, there's
smaller,
still lots
more
of
safe.
wave pools, but
I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like a lot of the rides that were in Action Park are now in other parks today, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so Action Park was basically just making, what do you call them, like the early models,
They're the
Exactly.
evil
testing them
blueprint.
out,
they were the
failing,
blueprint.
and then and then
They
everyone
were
else
one of the
improved them.
earliest, they were one of the biggest, largest
Yeah.
water parks in the continent, not even in the country, in the continent. And so one of the other park attractions, I have been in all of these in Great America, but I've never been on this one because I've always been so scared. This one in Action Park is called the kayak experience. So you guys know those water slides where you're like in a kayak and you're going through rapids?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
this is. And underneath the water, I guess, kind of submerged in it, really, are electrical fans so that it could agitate the water.
That
And I
doesn't
assume
sound,
those
that
were
sounds like
hidden
Final
people.
Destination
Yeah.
type
No, literally.
stuff.
Yeah. A lot of the time, the kayaks, they got tipped over and they were stuck a lot, pretty frequently, especially because of the terrain. And on August 1st, 1982, Jeffrey Nathan, he was 27 at the time, he got out of his kayak because he was trying to correct it, basically. And he stepped on a crate, and that grate was like covering and
One of the
touching
Electrical
an
fan.
exposed live wire
Oh,
Bruh.
from one of the electrical
in
fans.
the water.
Mhm. And Nathan suffered a severe electrical shock that
got
put him
fried.
into cardiac arrest.
Oh, and the fact that it's still open at this point, it's
Yeah, that's insane.
He was taken to a hospital in Warwick, New York, and he passed due to the shock-based cardiac arrest. But the park denied that he died because of the electrical current because there were no
Of
burns
course.
on his body.
Mm.
But the
Sure.
coroner
So-
confirmed
Well-
that water-based electrocutions don't necessarily have burns on them.
Yeah.
boom. Yeah.
So,
You know what else just
Oh.
stopped his heart?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't listen to the expert.
Wait away.
Ugh.
So there was more people that, of course, passed in the action park. Total, including the ones that I just mentioned, 6 people. Now the others that I haven't mentioned yet was there's actually one that doesn't disclose who the person is nor what date. It only mentions like the year. So I'm going to talk about that one first. They also suffered a heart attack though, and they were going on a ride called the Tarzan swing. Have any of
That
you
sounds
guys
fun.
yeah.
I was gonna say that sounds
So,
cool, but based on all the stories you've been saying,
yeah.
Have you
it's
guys
not
seen
gonna go
Grown
that way.
Ups?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you
Oh,
know
yeah.
that one scene where Adam Sandler's son kind of tops the other kid in the water park and he goes down that like zip line basically?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like that, but instead of a zip line, you're just grabbing a metal rod and you're swinging and then you're catching the next one. And then you're swinging and then you're
Oh
catching the next one.
no.
So like you
They
actually are like throwing yourself like
Yes.
like off and like
Yes.
you have
they
to
really
cling on.
said you're gonna
That
be
is
Tarzan.
not.
no.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It was also in spring fed water. So there was like a bunch of dead fish in the water. The water was super cold, which
Yeah.
can cause shock to the body if it's like a different temperature change from the ride that they went on before. So that's what happened.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
He got shocked because of the temperature difference from the ride that he had before compared to that one. I think he went on the cannonball ride, I believe, and the difference, the Tarzan swing, the water in there is 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The one in the cannonball ride is 70 to 80. So it caused a
Okay.
big enough shock for him to experience a heart attack, and he passed away due to it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
There was also, oh gosh, so there was also August 27th, 1984. Donald DePass. He was a 20-year-old and he drowned in what was called the cliff dive pool. I'm pretty sure you guys can imagine like what that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
the idea of that.
Yeah. So it's like the thing with the cliff dive pool, again, you just go jump off a cliff and go into the water.
Cliff
But
diving is fun, but like you gotta be careful.
yeah, the water was kind of murky.
Oh.
And the floor, pretty much all the
on.
floor in the amusement park was made with asphalt, which sucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because why would you put asphalt in a water park? Why?
Because it was probably
Hot
cheaper.
as fuck.
Yeah,
was
it's
cheap.
hot as hell. Hot
Yeah.
as hell. But that meant it was really hard to see really anything in the water, including his body.
Oh.
No.
It was 15 feet deep, the pool. And the murky water pretty much made it impossible to spot him. The lifeguards later found him underwater. And
How much later?
it doesn't say when. It was not even an hour, though, I
Too
believe.
long.
Long enough to where he didn't end up surviving. They tried reviving him afterwards. The EMTs came, but they couldn't
So
help.
how many lawsuits are happening at this time?
A lot. Too many to count.
You would
Way too many. But Gene had like a gateway, or like not a gateway, but like a loophole that he found
Yeah, of
when it came
course.
to the lawsuits. He just wouldn't settle. He'd go to trial and he wouldn't settle, and he wouldn't settle, and he wouldn't settle. And the operation manager, he said that like they won 93% of the lawsuits.
Yeah, because then the families that
Jeez.
would try to sue them would eventually be like, I can't do this anymore. I don't have the
Exactly.
money to keep suing this man.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
So these people lost their family and they're trying to get some sort of justice out of it and still nothing. He won't give them nothing.
Jeez.
So that is pretty much the end. That makes all the people that passed away in the action park. I am going to repeat them really quickly. So again, July 16th, 19-year-old George Larson Jr. August 1st, 1982, Jeffrey Nathan, 27 years old. July 24th, 1982, George Lopez, 15. 1984, unknown. August 27th, 1984, Donald DePass. And July 19th, 1987, 18-year-old Gregory Grandchaps. So those are all the people that passed in Action Park. It was, of course, closed. It was closed officially in, I believe, 1985. Or 1996, actually.
96.
Yeah. And it did get reopened in 2014. It was
By someone
not
else,
by
I
the
hope.
same man. No,
Okay.
it was someone else.
Okay.
It was a different person, and they called it Crystal Springs Resort and Mountain Creek Water Park.
Okay.
But it did close again in 2016 permanently.
Got it. Crazy.
So,
That's
Good.
crazy. Yeah.
Good.
but that is the end for me. That was Action Park.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Crazy.
listening.
Actually, I don't
Crazy,
know
man.
if I should thank you.
Yeah. Like I said, it literally was not all of it. I have
Yeah.
so much more that I could
No,
share with you guys.
I'm sure there's a ton of things, especially if you go into like the lawsuits and the way he was getting out of them. and-
Exactly.
yeah, I'm
I
sure
can
there's
even
a
talk
lot
about
more.
George Larson's mom and his brother too, because oh my god, I got so much on that. But yeah,
Did the owner face like any legal consequences?
he did, but not for necessarily all the deaths. He got arrested for, I believe, insurance fraud because he didn't have a liability insurance on him.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
always something else that they get caught for.
And then he
Yeah.
did make a fake liability insurance company,
Oh my god.
which he used also for money laundering.
Of course.
Okay, so he was dabbing on
I'd
everything.
say he was kind of scummy
Stand-up
all
guy.
around.
Yes,
Yeah.
he
The
was.
employees were on reefer and alcohol. You know, he was money
Hormones.
laundering. People were dying. He was dabbing on
Hormones.
everything. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
will thank you very much.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me about this place because it's been a while since I had.
Dude, yeah. I watched the Class Action Park documentary a couple years back,
Mhm.
and I was like, because my brother showed me, and I was like, oh my god, dude, that's freaking crazy. And then I was thinking about it today, and I was like, oh,
Why not?
why not?
Like that's a good case to cover. Huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or yesterday, today, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Time's
Thank
not
you.
real.
Anyways,
Kai,
Thanks.
care
We should
to
go on a
lighten up
trip.
the load?
Oh, I won't be lightening up anything.
Damn.
Real
Okay.
quick, I do have to go walk my dog. So I can
Go for
join
it.
back later.
Yeah.
You guys keep going, but I will be back.
Okay.
Cool.
See you on the other side.
Sounds good.
My people call me. I'm being sent to war.
You hear the barks?
I wish you
You've got that dog in
good
you.
fortune, soldier.
I got that dog in me.
He's taking that dog out.
Okay, I'm leaving. I'll be right
Carlos
back.
fighting for our
Bye.
freedoms.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, so I don't think I'll be like lightening up anything.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Nice.
What do you have for us? Where are you taking us to?
You'll find out in a second. All right. So, in the early 1900s, right? So we're going back
Yeah.
around that time.
Yeah.
And back then, tuberculosis was one of the leading causes of death.
Ah.
It was devastating. It was known as the White Plague, and it quickly spread and took the lives of so many people. Back then, it was the leading cause of death along with pneumonia. And so it spread, but unlike how quickly it spread, it unfortunately killed very slow. Which is terrible. You would get infected and you would spend months, you would spend years even with this disease just slowly eating away at your lungs and to whatever areas of your body that it spread to. It was incurable for the longest time. So it spread a lot, but one area of the United States was hit particularly hard. It was Jefferson County, Kentucky. So this area of Kentucky was a breeding ground for the tuberculosis bacteria. The wetlands that traveled through that area and like the population of the cities, especially the city of Louisville that was there. So by 1910, the cases of tuberculosis in Louisville were so severe that a hospital was created exclusively for tuberculosis patients. And for them as well.
Okay.
The Waverly Hills Sanatorium was created.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Waverly Hills. I know at least one of you guys has heard of it. Cool. So, first, I kind of would say I've always actually loved the name Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just really cool. I don't know. It sounds so cute and fun, and then you realize what the building actually was for and its history and the
Super
literal horrors that happened inside.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh shit, yeah, this place is like really bad.
It's bad news.
Yeah.
Everything is not what it seems.
Yeah. So I'm sure you guys have heard
Wizards
of
of
it
Waverly
before.
Place.
Yeah. I can't help. I think of Wizards of Waverly Place every time. And
I've been watching it.
It's in
No
the
way, have you?
name.
Yeah, I've been on a binge.
Nice.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Oh, yeah. What do you guys think of the name? I think it's fun, but
No, I mean it's on the name.
Physical.
It's the first thing I think of.
Yeah.
yeah. And so the people who named it that in the beginning agreed. It originally did start out as something pretty and cute and innocent.
Yeah.
The land that the hospital stands on was purchased by Major Thomas Hayes from Louisville in 1883 for his family home.
Hays.
But there wasn't Hays, yeah. Thomas Hayes.
Okay.
There wasn't a school close enough for his daughters, though. So, because he had a shit ton of money, he literally just opened up a new school right next to their home on the land that they purchased, which was pretty sick.
Do that? That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it was 1880s. What like school board?
That's what I was thinking. It was like it was different back in the day. You could get away with a lot.
You could. It was a one-room schoolhouse. It didn't need to be big, and so Major Hayes, he hired Lizzie Lee Harris to be the teacher there. Mrs. Harris loved the Waverly novels that were written by Walter Scott, so Major Hayes named the school the Waverly School, and he then just loved the name so much he named all the land they were living on Waverly Hill.
All right.
And so that's where the name came from. The name was eventually kept later on when it was purchased and then turned into the sanatorium.
Cute.
So
We love it.
yeah. It actually originally started out pretty small in 1910 when it was created, but the next couple of years it expanded just a bit just to allow some more space. But then it wasn't until 1926 when it fully expanded and got big, in order to accommodate the rising amount of
numbers.
patients, the rising numbers. Yeah, because there was a lot of need for space there. They didn't want to have to turn away all these patients because they were having to turn away all these patients. In 1943, streptomycin was introduced. It was an antibiotic medication that effectively became the treatment for tuberculosis. Because of that, cases gradually did decrease. And eventually Waverly Hills Sanatorium would close in June of 1961.
Oh, so it didn't stay open for too long.
No, yeah, so roughly 1910 to 1961, so just about 50 or so years. In the next like 30 or so years, there were lots of attempts to turn the building and land into a lot of different things. Like the year after 1962, they tried to open it to be a geriatric hospital, but that failed. They tried to turn it into a state prison to hold prisoners. They tried to do a bunch of stuff with it. But, all these plans all fell through either because of lack of staff, lack of planning, lack of funds, or just like lack of permission from the people. One of the big reasons it didn't turn into a prison was because the people of Louisville like protested against it. Like they did not want this big thing to be turned into a prison, which completely valid. But moving back into the fact that it was a sanatorium for tuberculosis. Tuberculosis, a disease that literally did not have a cure. There was no way to stop it. Go ahead, Alexis. I don't know if you want to.
No. You keep going.
So, yes, it was a hospital, but what could they actually do? It was just a place to keep them quarantined, really.
Yeah.
And
That's what it was never designed as a
mental
functional hospital, more like a last spot for them to
yes,
rest.
Yeah,
exactly.
last resort.
Like it kind of goes that once you got to the Waverly Sanatorium,
it's like a hospice.
You never left.
Yeah.
It's kind of dark.
And that wasn't just for the patients, that was for the staff, the nurses, the doctors that lived there.
It was so contagious.
Yes, because once you were on Waverly Hill, you could not leave. That's how bad tuberculosis was. They didn't want it to
California.
spread. Wake up to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place.
The warm weather might help. It won't. But that's what they thought. Anyway. Go ahead.
Of course, they tried treatments and they tried to create cures. But more often than not, the treatments were just as bad as the actual disease itself. Completely barbaric things happened.
Oh no.
They would the doctors would literally like cut open their chests. They would expose the patient's lungs to UV light to like try to kill the bacteria.
They did a lot of crazy things.
Okay.
They would build lots of sunrooms or sun porches that they would put patients in just to sit in the scalding sun, because it would hopefully, kill the bacteria. It would, stuff like that. They would put them outside, literally on the balconies. They would open up the roofs and just leave them outside because they thought fresh air was the best possible cure.
No way.
But since it was Kentucky back in the early 1900s, it was also very fucking cold.
Oh no.
And there's literally photographs out there that have like patients like lounging outside, like in their beds or their chairs, and they're just covered in snow.
What?
Yeah.
How is that better?
I don't know.
Because they were getting fresh air.
Right.
I don't.
Another treatment they did was, since it was mainly to do with the lungs, right? And the lungs not being able to pull in as much air, they were being deteriorated.
Yeah.
There was one treatment they would do where they would surgically implant balloons into the patient's lungs.
Oh,
and then fill them with air to expand them.
Oh no.
But they could break the ribs, it could pop, it
They
would
could,
Yeah.
a lot of damage
much
can
bloody,
happen.
very bloody, not great.
And I'm sure, I don't know if there was a way to get the balloons to be sterile back in that time.
No, definitely not. They didn't even care about being sterile back then.
No.
It was, yeah. They would remove muscle, they would remove ribs to allow extra space for the lungs to expand.
No.
That's just.
And a lot of these procedures, people didn't survive. And I mean, they really were a last resort
Yeah.
when, nothing else could be done. But still, there was a lot of terrible treatments, a lot of death that came with it.
Yeah.
There aren't accurate reports of how many people died during those 50-ish years of operation. I've seen articles that say anywhere from 6,000 to 60,000
Oh my
people
God.
That's a
died.
huge range.
Holy crap,
Yes.
dude. Yeah, that's a huge range.
Yeah, so it's hard because not a lot of the record was kept, but
Mhm.
also one of the main one of the, I guess, moving into more of the paranormal side of this now, because of how much death there was, of course there's going to be lots of energies that are still reported, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
particularly in what's known as the death hall or the body chute there.
What?
Yeah, so in one area of the hospital, there's an enclosed tunnel that was mainly used for transportation sort of down to the railroad tracks and sort of like the road at the bottom of the hill. Completely hidden tunnel, enclosed. It was used for the staff. But because of how many deaths there were, it pretty much exclusively turned into a chute to dispose of the bodies
Oh.
that an ambulance could then gather or whatever, bring it back to the morgue. And, there could have been tens of thousands of bodies that were just thrown down there in order to be hidden, because they didn't want the other patients to see how many people were actually dying inside of the hospital.
And cause a panic. Yeah.
And cause panic, exactly. The doctors believe that, their mental health was just as important as their physical health, which, yes, I agree with, but also
That's not the
Doesn't
way
seem
to
like
go
they're doing
about it.
much else.
no,
Yeah.
they definitely not. So that's one of the most investigated areas, I guess I would say, of the sanatorium. And like most paranormal cases, there's not super detailed recounts of what's been seen or things like that. But of course, commonly there's been seen, lots of ghost orbs, lots of shadow figures that will move down in that hallway, people hearing, names called and whispers as they walk through. Also, I forgot to mention, this hall is close to 600 feet long.
Oh.
So
Damn.
So this
dude.
is okay. Go ahead.
yes, so they would carry these through, and this is a huge thing. It's like
Yeah.
long, dark alleyway.
Steam Alley, bruh.
Literally times 10. Like,
Literally.
yeah, and so the body shoots, the death hall there at the sanatorium. That's not where things end, because there's so many deaths on the property that there's so many little stories of spirits and ghosts that are there. Some of the most notable is going in, there's supposedly a little boy named Timmy who's at the
Timmy.
sanatorium.
Timmy.
Yeah.
Timmy boy.
Timmy, yeah. He plays catch with you. Like, you
Oh,
roll a
that's
ball and
cute.
he'll throw it back.
Oh.
Which surprisingly is like not that scary.
No, that's cute.
Like playful more than anything.
Yeah, let's play.
I don't think it would
Fucking
be
people.
scary until like you heard a voice. I think it'd be
No,
fine
yeah.
just doing the
I
ball.
don't
But
I feel like
as
if
soon
I
as you
heard
hear
a
voice,
voice, I would be more content with that because then it looks like, then at least I'm talking to something, you know, rather than just
Mhm.
it
That's
looking
fair.
like I'm
yeah, until you
schizophrenic
look
or
around the
something.
corner and you realize that there's
Yeah.
no one there, or like that there's an actual person there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know BuzzFeed and or Ryan and Shane,
Hmm.
they've gone a couple
Yes.
of times to the sanatorium. They
Is
did.
that
Yeah.
is that the clip where he like rolls the ball and it like
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it
goes
is.
to like his name graffiti?
His name, exactly, yeah.
Okay,
So,
that's what I was thinking of.
yeah, that was in their video they did like 7-8 years ago, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was wild.
I remember that.
I loved when they were on BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah,
The good
so
old days.
during BuzzFeed Unsolved, it was like a 7-8 year old video now. And yeah, there's like the one clip where like Ryan, he like rolls the ball down the hallway and like they hear it bounce around a bit and like it almost sounds like it gets like rolled a little bit further after it stopped, from what I remember.
That's
and so
sick.
like they run down the hallway to go investigate. And he like grabs the ball from the ground and Ryan like looks up and on the wall directly above it, it says Ryan, like his name
That's
on the
so
wall.
freaky.
Yeah. And like, I don't know how much coincidence that is. Like, I don't know how skeptical I am, but like, that's kind of crazy
Yeah.
to actually have that happen. Another ghost is supposedly there's a woman who's been seen, one of the nurses, and she'll be at the end of hallways
she
and
good?
in doorways, just watching over you, really. She'll kind of disappear once you see her. So the story goes that there was a nurse who did hang herself inside of the building, and now is still roaming those halls. Once again, you know, unfounded stories, but paranormal sightings nonetheless. And that's just the many people of like the mysterious like humanoid figures, the shadow figures that will drift through the hallways. And it's really unknown who a lot of these people are, but people have seen them before. Yeah, I was looking into more ghost stories, specifically from like Reddit, of people who like live in Kentucky, who live by Louisville, and have taken trips there. Reddit always be coming through,
Hell yeah.
honestly. So there's this one story of somebody went in March of 2024. They went on just a regular daytime tour because
So
it is privately
basic.
owned by a like society, and they do tours of the place. They also do nighttime paranormal tours.
Ooh, we gotta
Nice.
go.
We do gotta go. Yeah. So apparently they were on the second floor on the sun porch up there where a lot of the patients would be
cute.
held.
They have a sun porch.
They were leaning on the wall and they said they just suddenly felt something just punch them in the stomach, like super
Oh
hard.
god. Oh, okay. Not cute.
Full on punch. Yeah, not cute at all.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
It's one of those mystery boxes.
No, yeah. You either chill at the sun porch or you die at the sun porch. I don't know. They said that they felt as if they were blacking out and they like slowly slid down the wall onto the floor and
Got
eventually
the
just
wind
threw
knocked
up.
out of them. Oh damn.
Yeah.
Got food knocked
Yeah, they
out
threw
of
up. They had to be They had to be pretty much carried off of the tour because they were too weak to get up. But they said as soon they said that they were like brought down to like down to the first floor to an open spot, and they said they were feeling better, but they said that they felt watched, like they felt like they're being watched while they were down
You
there.
think they took something?
I don't know.
No, I'm just kidding.
They took a punch. That's
Something,
what they
like,
took.
rude or
I'm
something.
kidding. Blaming the victim.
Yeah, it's their fault. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
Alexis.
I just know.
Like that guy who took the clinkers.
I was gonna say.
Yes.
Anyway, this person on Reddit said that as soon as they like left the building, though, they just felt so much relief. Like they felt 100% better, and apparently drove 200 miles back home after that, completely fine.
Damn.
So,
Okay.
yeah. People have said, you know, taking nighttime tours, they feel like they sweat profusely, but also are like freezing cold at the same time.
I hate when
Seeing
that
shadow
happens.
people,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
footsteps up and down the halls.
spooky.
But there's this one
Scary.
post someone made of a few different trips that they, or 2 different trips that they actually
They went
had.
back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not everyone gets punched in the gut.
So they said that they were on a tour. The tour guide was taking them around, and they got to a floor where there was a floor that, quote, they didn't allow you to have lights turned on. But they said that they really started questioning it.
Yeah.
So they said that this, for context, the dark floor has aggressive spirits that attack you if you provoke them.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So they said they saw shadow figures there, human-shaped figures walking across the halls. And
I'm gonna be real. I'm the
yeah.
kind of idiot that would like go through that floor.
100%, yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong going through it until you turn the lights on and you start like mocking them.
No,
I wouldn't do all
and
that. No.
this person says that like the tour guide will even offer you to walk down the hall alone.
Oh, that's
while
sick.
the other
No.
people like watch.
Okay.
You
do
just go
it.
down.
Yeah, I would do that.
You do? Oh, mm-mm.
That would be pretty
I
fun.
would do
but,
it.
Watched.
but yeah, so they said this happened during their first trip, and so they were a little bit skeptical. So eventually they came back, and that's when they said they saw a full body apparition, like just completely there. They said they were walking back up again to that dark floor, but this time instead of being at the front of their group, they stayed at the back of the group near their tour guide,
Maggers.
just to keep distance from the others.
Mhm.
And they said that while they were talking to the tour guide, they were standing at the bottom of the stairs. And before they made their way up the stairs, they noticed just a person who was just in their peripheral vision, who was just standing in a doorway behind the tour guide.
No.
They said they tried to make eye
Oh.
contact with that person, but their eyes just couldn't focus on it.
Why
like
are they
it
always
just wasn't
behind
there.
the tour
Like it was
guides?
just going through.
Yeah, right?
Right? They're always behind the tour guide. Like, why can't I be the one to see it? Like, why do they get the cool experiences? I worked here
Yeah.
for fuck's sake. Like, I don't know. the ghosts support capitalism. You're giving them what they paid for.
Yeah, if you don't buy a ticket, you don't see anything.
Hey, the ghosts are just acting their wage.
Yeah.
Right?
They show up at odd hours, only work when they want to. Yeah.
How do I get a gig like that?
Catch
So this
tuberculosis.
person, catch tuberculosis, go to the sanatorium. Oh God.
Got you.
So they said this person appeared to be shorter, blonde, and in a hospital gown. So a patient, something like that.
Oh, she was lost.
And they said it just walked behind the door and then out of view. And it was blurry the entire time it was walking. But yeah, they said they also on that trip, a third thing they encountered is something that the workers there called the creeper.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so apparently whatever it is known for climbing on the walls and jumping
No.
onto people.
No.
Easy.
Wait, what'd you say? It climbs on the walls and then what?
And jumping onto people.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, that's scary as fuck.
Like, what if that happened to you? What would you do?
Mm-mm.
What's your first
It'll
instinct?
pass away.
Dead.
I'd run the fuck out of there.
Dead.
Dive headfirst through a window.
What if there's no window?
Create one.
It's
The
Minecraft.
walls of that gothic home are gonna be run down.
Yeah,
you
wait
know.
away.
My hard head will break through it.
It's when you get out.
Yeah. So they said while they were on the first floor, and it was actually still daylight out, they were walking in the back of the group when suddenly they felt something really cold rush up onto their shoulder. And they said the tour guide walking next to them jumped away in fear.
Oh,
And then
that's good.
when the poster turn their head towards the like cool air, they just found themselves face to face with a black mass looming over their shoulder, just inches
It's
away
n-
from their
Oh,
face.
that's crazy.
It's never good when the tour guide that you're with
Yeah.
also gets startled.
When the professional is scared,
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
scared.
literally, I'd be freaking out.
I'll be,
Yeah,
I'd
and
be
that's why you
freaking
get-
out.
The Redditor says,
Redditor.
quote, the Redditor. Yeah. They said, quote, I could make out one of the most sinister smiles and a pair of eye sockets with no eyeballs
Oh,
in them
hell
locked
no.
onto me. This was the first time I vocalized my fear while on one of these tours. I gave out a loud shriek as a grown man.
You brave grown man.
As you should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they said that the thing just darted away, but apparently other people in their group did confirm like what they saw, like this black mass.
Holy crap. Wow.
So
I mean, at
like
least
it
they're not
wasn't
the
just some
only
like big
one.
trick.
Yeah.
See, but does
It-
that make you feel better or does that make it worse?
That makes me feel
know.
better.
I mean, they said they said
Yeah.
it made them feel better. So
Okay.
That makes
you
me
know,
feel better. And I didn't even experience that.
You're good.
You're not alone. It's okay. Me in the mirror.
It's a safe space.
Focus, Kyle.
Yeah. Sorry.
Jesus
Sorry.
Christ.
Your head in the game.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just
Gotta
the creeper. He's right here, and
Oh man.
he's looking kind of cute. My sleep paralysis demon.
Literally.
But yeah, there's been lots of like, paranormal investigations, YouTube, TV shows, and lots of people have gone here. And from what
That's
I've
nice.
seen, the sanatorium definitely seems like one of the most active haunted places. Like lots of experiences. And so I
Good.
think it would be kind of fun to go.
We should go.
Definitely.
We should plan it.
But I don't
mean,
want to
anything
I don't
that
want to like
has,
bring
like-
an evil spirit home. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
well, don't.
Fair. But I think anything that has like this type of activity would just be fun to go into.
I also don't know if I want to go to Kentucky.
It's a one-day thing.
Yeah, it's a one day thing.
Yeah.
You're done.
And we can go. We could go in the fall, winter. Because I don't know how hot Kentucky gets.
Did you not
sure.
hear
Not
about
sure.
how the winters would be cold with the people covered with snow during?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Okay.
sweating balls. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I have some cool pictures. I also have like the original blueprints for the sanatorium, like pictures of
That's
those,
sick.
which is really cool.
Yeah, how big is the building itself?
Like
how
big.
Yes.
Oh.
So that kind of big.
I mean,
Yes,
it's got a
that kind of
600
big.
foot
It's
tall.
180,000 square feet.
Holy
It's
It's a
crap.
180,000 square foot
Wow.
facility. I believe it's 5 stories tall from what
my
I was
gosh.
reading.
My
I mean,
goodness
it was
gracious.
designed to hold people with tuberculosis during the peak of the freaking.
Yeah, it was
You
it was
gotta have
able to
space, I guess.
it was
Oh my
able to hold like
goodness.
400 patients, I believe.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
My goodness.
Yeah, so definitely
I'd go.
huge. That's pretty much it. I mean, I believe it was purchased in I don't know. It's privately managed right now. Yeah, so it was purchased in 2001
Mhm.
to Atina and Charlie Mattingly, and I believe they're still the owners today. So that they help maintain the property, do the tours. They actually do like a Halloween haunt as well, I believe.
Oh, that's cute.
So-
Yeah,
that's
I mean, it's
crazy.
such a haunted place. You just have to.
Yeah, what a way. Gotta turn a haunted house into a haunted house.
True. Gotta get that
So-
money, that moolah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Anyway, that's the Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yeah.
That's freaky.
Yeah, what a way. So scary.
I'm really scared right now.
What are we scared?
Because I'm really fucking scared right now.
I'm freaking out.
I'm actually pooping my pants right now.
Actually,
guys.
I'm literally bubbling my pants.
I'm literally having a panic attack.
Right now.
About this.
What are we doing?
It's happening right now.
Wait now.
Literally as we speak.
Bye.
Okay, what are we, Jay?
Who's next? What's
Take the wheels.
Who's next? I'm next.
Jesus, take the wheel.
next? The doctors when tuberculosis hit.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Crazy.
I really don't doubt it. They're like, you're in the Lord's hands now.
Yeah. No, and like they would like because eventually the disease could like spread to like their brain and cause mental issues, and of course they do like electroshock therapy and like probably like stuff like that. So
yeah.
The whole shebang.
Yep.
Shabita barba.
Shabang. Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That
was better than I would say Alexis's case with all the people dying.
But... Oh, okay.
No, it's fine.
Kidding, I'm kidding.
No, like
I'm kidding. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it's very
like lighter.
Very lighter.
Like death-wise, it's lighter. I mean,
there was a little boy who plays
tens of thousands of people died because of tuberculosis. So I'm sure more people died there than the park. Yeah. But
either way, people died.
It wasn't as gruesome, and people were not expected to have fun in there.
No. But I want to see that little boy. I want to play catch with Timmy.
See, but what if he doesn't want to see you? He just wants to play ball, and like he's just like in a dark corner.
Well, he just needs a friend.
It sounds so wholesome, kind of. Just a little kid ghost in the corner of a sanatorium, trying to play catch.
Well, for my case,
what do you have, Jay?
Go too far. Yeah. What do I have? I have the bonus story. Obviously,
yes, you do.
Duh.
You're the bonus.
Duh.
So I'm gonna be taking us to a different location, not too far from where Kai covered his story.
Oh, okay.
But not necessarily back to California. I'm taking us to Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston.
Right. Okay. Now you've offended like so many
Bostoners. Yeah, I've offended a lot of people. I figured. I figured, why not just piss off more people?
Hey, everyone deserves to be pissed off.
Yeah, I already did one. Can't hurt to do another.
Cool. So for my case, do you guys like? We already talked about amusement parks, but what about museums?
Yeah.
Oh, we love museums.
Well, I think I like work in a museum or something.
But like, do you like like modern art, like contemporary? Like, do you have a preference? Like, or do you just like going to museums in general?
I like museums in general.
Yeah. I like just abstract art.
I like science museums.
Okay. I love history. I saw a pair of Roman jewelry last time I went to the museum, and I just sat in front of it for so long. Like, it was a pair of earrings that I would wear today, and it was like.
Did you take a picture of them? If so, can you send them?
I did. I'll send them.
Okay.
I love old jewelry.
Because me too.
Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is because we're going to be talking about a museum.
No way.
No way.
Museum?
Obviously. No, I'm going to be talking about science. No. I'm talking about a museum, and it's in Boston, Massachusetts. And the museum is named the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. But I want to give you a little history about the museum, and why is there a museum named after a woman? Who was Isabella? And
why would they do that?
Who is he?
Why is
it?
What? Giving credit to women? What?
Why is it named after her?
Bibbidi bobbidi.
Yeah.
Women are.
Women are deserving of recognition.
Isabella, the woman that was the museum named after. She was born in 1840.
Damn.
And I'm going to be telling this story, and you just tell me if the story sounds similar, or like there's some points that you can connect to like someone else in your head. You know, just think about it. Just think
Okay.
about the
All right.
story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Isabella
No
was
clue who they
born
got
in
to
the
hear that be.
1840s
Mhm.
into a wealthy family in New York. She was the daughter of David Stewart, who made his fortune importing linen. Now,
okay.
she was raised in a world of privilege, and Isabella was given every opportunity to cultivate her interest in arts, literature, culture. This young lady, she had a taste for adventure. And she also had a rebellious spirit.
Let's
Because who
go.
doesn't? You know, what young person doesn't? At the age of 20, she married John Jack Lowell Garner Jr. And he was a member of one of Boston's most prominent families. And that's when she relocated to Boston, Massachusetts. How did they meet? I don't know. But now let me take a look at those earrings because Sabina just said that.
Cool.
Okay.
Earring.
This is at
Sabina
the
sent us the picture of the
Legion
earrings.
of
Yeah.
Art, I think it's called, in San Francisco.
The what?
Ooh,
I think it's the Legion
okay.
of Art.
Okay.
They got
Faber
good
J
stuff.
jewelry. Okay. Okay. Anyway, back to Isabel.
Right.
What Isabel do?
Oh, back to Milo.
Welcome back, Milo. Just in
Oh
time.
my god. Just in
we're
time.
just literally getting into my story.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's the
Yeah,
Legion
so you
of
get to hear the
Honor.
bonus story.
Ooh.
And we're now located in Boston, Massachusetts. We're talking about the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. And I'm giving you a history of why was a museum named after this lady.
Yeah.
Well, long story short, she was born in the 1840s. She married a wealthy New York family. She was the daughter of a man who made his fortune importing linen.
Mhm.
She was raised in a world of privilege, and she was given every opportunity to cultivate her interest, arts, literature, and culture. And she was young and rebellious, but she married at 20 years old to John
Wow.
Jack Lowell Garner Jr. That's literally all you missed.
Okay.
Cool.
I respect her already.
How did they meet? I generally don't know. I kind of just did not even think of that until now. But
At a coffee shop. It was a meet cute.
They met
moving
on
on.
Tinder.
You know, she was courted by him probably. The couple faced a tragedy, however, on 1865. Once again, Milo, try to connect these dots to some other story that you know, because it's very similar. In 1865, Isabella gave birth to a son who
Okay.
died before the age of 2.
Oh.
Now, the loss devastated her, and Isabella fell into a deep depression. So, to help her cope, her husband Jack suggested to Isabella, "Hey, why don't you travel to Europe?"
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, that she went on a trip, and she became a transformative. It was a transformative experience for Isabella, and it sparked a passion for travel, culture, and most notably, art collecting.
Okay.
Now, the idea for her museum was born from her travels, where she was inspired by the grand European galleries and collections throughout her life. She traveled to Italy, Egypt, Asia, and beyond. What's beyond, I don't know.
She went to the other side.
Exactly. She just immersed herself in this cultures, and she was building relationships with artists, dealers, collectors. Once again, she was from a wealthy family. And along the way, she began amassing an impressive art collection, which would become one of the most important collections in the US. Now, the driving force behind this museum's actual construction, the museum started under construction in 1891. And the reason that it started was because Jack Gardner, her husband, suddenly passed away from a stroke.
Oh.
And it was after his death that Isabella, she was now a widow, and she decided to channel her grief into a lifelong project, building a museum to house her ever-growing collection and to honor her late husband.
Oh.
Now,
That's really cute, actually.
yeah, you know,
Yeah, that's
she
really
had the money
sweet.
for it. Go for it.
Mhm.
She had a passion. So she had a vision, and her vision was to recreate a Venetian palace in the heart of Boston.
Okay.
That's cool.
So she purchased a plot of marshy land in the Fenway Kenmore neighborhood of Boston. It was a largely underdeveloped area at the time. And working with architect Willard T. Sears, Isabella personally oversaw every aspect of the museum, from the design to the layout to the construction.
Dang.
And she drew inspiration from the Grand Palazzos, which I had to look up what that was in Italian. It's just palaces that she had seen in Venice. She just wanted to ensure that her museum would feel both intimate but also enchanting at the same time. So the construction the construction started on what at the time was called Fenway Court, began in 1899, and it was completed in 1901. Just 2 years. The building itself was described as a marble. It was a 3-story structure, and it was arranged around a breathtaking courtyard filled with plants, sculptures, and mosaics.
It's not around anymore?
Oh, it's still around.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I will send you a picture right now.
Okay.
Okay.
And whatever you're picturing right now, I want you to multiply it by 3.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
No, the reason I'm saying it's because like I pictured something like gorgeous, but it just like blew me out of the water.
Extravagant.
It was extravagant. It's it's just very Italian, found in
Very Venetian.
the U.S. in Boston.
Love it.
Okay, so here goes the picture. I'm sending it to the group chat. Feel free to check it out. And this is just the inside of it. And this is what it looks like nowadays. So, and we'll get into why it looks like this nowadays. How it can look like this nowadays after so many years.
Oh, wait. Never mind.
You good?
Oh, that's
beautiful.
pretty.
Oh my god,
That's very gorgeous.
Insane.
So this is what Isabella
Winchester
wanted
wishes.
to build.
For real.
Literally, this is what Isabella wanted to build. She wanted to build a great, Venetian palace in the
That's
heart of
her husband
Boston.
Yeah.
So visitors would be able to wander from room to room. And each design was designed to feel like a separate ornate gallery, because rather than a typical museum and arranging the artwork like chronologically or by style, Gardner, it was her museum. So she chose a more personal approach. Pieces were arranged according to her own aesthetic taste, just mixing paintings, sculptures, textiles, and like furniture, just to invoke different emotions and themes. Isabella's collection was both expansive and diverse. Just over her life, she acquired more than 2,500 pieces.
Dang.
And this included paintings, sculptures, tapestries, rare books, photographs, and decorative art. Her collection spanned from cultures to eras, from the Renaissance masterpieces to Asian pottery, illuminated manuscripts, letters from historical figures like Napoleon and Marie Antoinette.
That's crazy.
She had a little bit of everything from everywhere.
That's crazy.
Jesus.
I love that.
She also had artworks from Michelangelo, Titan, Vermeer, Raphael, Rembrandt, and Degas, among many others. So when her husband said go to Europe, she said, I'm going to Europe and Asia and more.
Yeah.
So it would be in January 1903 when Isabella Stewart Gardner opened her museum to the public with a grand celebration that featured an orchestra performance in the central courtyard.
Ooh.
So where the picture I sent you.
Cool.
Now, Gardner wanted the museum to be a source of education and enrichment, just accessible to everyone. And she made sure that the entry fees were affordable. At the time in 1903, a ticket, like an entry ticket, was 25 cents. Nowadays, that would be around $8.94.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Nowadays, like if you go on their website, they're around like $20 to entry. So it's still like
That's
very
not bad.
affordable museum.
Yeah.
So Isabella would host events, concerts. She would have readings at the museum, bringing together artists, intellectuals, musicians, and just cultural influencers of the day. Isabella herself was known for her unconventional fashion sense and bold personality. She really just wore whatever she felt like wearing at the time. She would appear at social gatherings wearing everything from a Red Sox uniform.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love her.
Okay, girl.
To an elaborate silk gown from Asia. You know? So one day you could see her wearing that Red Sox uniform, and the next day she was covered in silk from head to toe. Which I love.
Diverse queen.
Yes.
Gotta respect that. Isabella unfortunately passed away in 1924.
Oh.
Sorry to disappoint you, Sabina. She's still not. She's not alive nowadays.
It's not true. It's not true.
Take it back.
Taken from us too.
She passed away in 1924, but before leaving, the world of the living, before she died, she left behind strict instructions for how her museum and her collection were to be preserved.
Good for her.
Her will specified that nothing in the museum, nothing was to be altered or added after her death.
Good.
Oh, that's right.
Or
That's
added.
Right. Still.
Added.
So that's why when you go visit it, the galleries were, to remain frozen in time as she left them. It's what many would call like a do not touch policy, which meant that the museum was preserved as a kind of living legacy to the vision of her taste.
That's so cool.
It really is.
Is this?
I wish
the
Sarah
place-
would have done that.
Right.
Go ahead.
Is this the place where people named Isabella get in for free?
I don't think so. I
think
actually
that's a
don't know, to
thing.
be honest.
That's so cool if it is.
I'm pretty
My
sure
name
it's
is
a thing.
Isabella.
It might be another museum, but I think it's the name Isabel.
I would have to take a
Or
look at that, but I
Isabella.
genuinely
Can there be
I don't
a
know from the top of
museum
my head.
where people named Milo can get in for free?
The Milo Museum. Yeah.
The Milo, probably.
Start
You
it.
can just look it up. There's probably a museum out there named the Milo Museum.
Yeah.
Anyway, now let's jump 66 years into the future.
Oh.
Okay.
So,
Damn.
66 years after she passed away, the day was March 18th, 1990. And the museum still looked the same as when Isabella passed away. And March 18th of 1990, early in the morning, right after St. Patrick's Day celebrations, when the streets of Boston were finally winding down from the day festivities, the museum watchman was on duty. His name was Rick Abath. He was a 23-year-old Berklee College music dropout and an aspiring musician.
Mm-hmm.
He had long hair, a laid-back attitude, and a history for being pretty relaxed around his duties. Some would say a little too relaxed for someone guarding, a priceless art collection.
Yeah.
And
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. And at exactly 1:24
Kim Possible?
a.m., two Boston police officers pulled up to the museum's side entrance. They rang the buzz, they just gave a buzz to the intercom, and they stated that they were responding to a disturbance call. So Rick let them in, but what he didn't realize is that this meant weren't actually officers. They were thieves.
Oh my gosh.
So, these people were thieves, and they were about to commit one of the most daring art heists in history.
Okay.
No.
I know the
remember
story.
this. Oh,
So-
That's
man.
sick.
At 1:35 a.m., the men entered the museum, and they instructed Abath and his fellow guard, Ramsey, to step away from the security desk. And before they knew it, the guards were handcuffed, and the thieves told them, "Gentlemen, this is a robbery," and they let them into the basement.
He was like, politely, I'm robbing you.
So you know.
Yeah. It's an art heist. You got to have some manners when you're doing an art heist.
Put the money in the bag, kindly. Thank you.
Please.
Yes. So they were escorted down to the basement. They were duct taped
Dun, dun,
to
dun.
pipes and chairs, and they were left there blindfolded and helpless.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Now, I am sending you right now here on this thing here. Take a look at the picture of what they looked like when they found them. Because they were still duct
Oh,
taped.
shit.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
They're like
I
suffocating
can't
over there.
see.
Oh man, those poor guys.
Oh, and imagine ripping that off.
Am I the last person to get
Oh,
this?
well,
It's
On
gonna
the-
be. It's in the
it's
chat.
them
not-
like
Oh, is it?
hands tied, duct tape around their face.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got long, long hair.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So, after the guards were tied up, the thieves were free to roam the museum. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Because an art heist, how long do you think an art heist takes?
20
About,
minutes.
Like half an hour, man.
half an hour.
I was gonna
yeah.
say like half an hour to an hour.
Okay. You guys are around the same like range. Okay, cool. The thieves spent about, they spent exactly 81 minutes.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
long time.
damn.
man.
Mm.
They were
too
in no rush. They were still in a total of 13 works of art from multiple rooms. Now, I have a list here of all the art pieces that they sold.
Mhm.
And every room was named differently. Every room had a different theme. From the Dutch room, they stole 4 works of art. 3 of them were from Rembrandt. And they were all from the 3 of them were from the 1633, and 1 was from
Wow.
1638.
Damn.
Damn.
They also stole 1 painting from the Blue Room from 1877 by Manet. And then from the Short Gallery, they stole 6 different works of art. They stole... What was this? Painting. A lot of paintings, but they also ended up stealing... they ended up stealing a wine beaker from the Dutch room. From the Dutch room, they
Mhm.
took 2 things. They
Respect.
took oil canvas. They took a wine beaker from the 12th century BCE.
Dang.
Damn.
Yep. They also took, where is it? I had it. Oh, they also took a bronze statue from 1814. They took. It's almost like they were just window shopping until they knew what they wanted, and then they took that.
Yeah.
Damn.
It seems that they really weren't in a hurry because they ended up making 2 separate trips to their car.
Damn.
Oh. They were taking their time.
Jesus Christ.
They were.
Yeah.
81 minutes. By the way, their car was a red Dodge Daytona.
My
Nice.
dad had a... Okay. Yeah.
Whoa. It was him.
And
It
widowing.
was.
Anyway, the thieves departed from the museum at 2:45 a.m. And it wasn't until 8:15 a.m. the morning after, the morning when the
Mhm.
staff arrived. It was 5 hours and a half after the thieves had driven away with all the art. And the morning staff discovered the guards tied up. And they also found the frames hanging in the museum galleries. They didn't take the paintings with the frames. They just
What?
cut the painting out of the frame.
What?
Oh, I feel like usually the
That-
frame is part of
The
it.
fuck?
Yeah.
The frame is usually
you-
part of it.
Wouldn't
The
it be
frame also
easier
has
to just
value.
take
Like
the frame as
psychotic,
well?
dude.
Like what?
Yeah.
The thing
Most
is, then
likely
you
they
have
just-
the thing is, you can roll up a painting. How are you going to roll up a frame?
That's true.
That's what I was going to say
That
as
is
If
well.
you're gonna dodge, how much room do you have?
I mean, but if
Exactly.
I'm gonna steal something, I'm gonna go big or go home. Take the frame.
It seems
they
like
did
they
go
didn't
big,
know what they
minus
were
the
doing
frame.
with how long
No.
it took them.
Yeah.
Like they were like,
They were like,
okay,
"Eh."
this one.
I guess I'll grab this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're
So,
shopping.
the police were called. Right off the bat, the FBI was notified, and an investigation
Shit,
begins. And with that, the greatest art heist in American history is underway.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm.
But what comes next is one of the most frustrating investigations for law enforcement.
Okay.
And it's just one of the most like, I don't know, like juicy mysteries for like amateur detectives and art lovers.
Juicy.
And I'll get into that in a minute, but like the FBI showed up at the scene, but they quickly found themselves stumped because let's start just with the guards. Rick becomes an early person of interest, the one that got duct taped. Why? Well, because there was some security footage from that night that showed him opening the doors, the museum's side door around midnight. But that was about half an hour before the thieves arrived. When they interviewed Rick, he just said that he was simply testing the door to ensure that it was secure. But of course,
But he left it
suspicions.
open?
No, he just opened it around that time.
Are you sure his name is Rick? And
His
not
name is Rick.
Patrick?
His name is Rick.
He's lying.
Anyway, and then there's also his demeanor during the whole, heist. He was pretty calm, perhaps a little too calm for someone who was supposed to be protecting like the priceless masterpieces. But unfortunately, or fortunately for him, there was just no concrete evidence linking him to the crime. And after many, many interviews, he's eventually cleared.
Okay.
Now,
right,
there's
he
also
checks
the
out.
possibility. Yeah, there's also the possibility that this was an inside job.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There was a lot of suspicions focusing on the museum staff and local criminals. The FBI was investigating whether the heist was orchestrated by someone familiar with the museum security system or the layout. And quickly, a theory started to gain traction that it was organized crime. Because after all, this is Boston in the early 1990s.
True.
So this is just, city of Boston, 1990s. The underworld had deep roots. So investigators took a look whether the art thief might have been connected to the Irish mob or the Italian mafia.
Okay.
Damn.
How'd they get involved? Like,
So one name that repeatedly comes up is James Whitey Bulger. He is a notorious Boston crime boss who ruled the streets with fear and violence.
Nice.
Bulger's gang, the Winter Hill Gang, had a reputation for smuggling drugs and a range of other illicit activities. So the theory goes that Bulger might have orchestrated the heist to trade the artwork as bargaining chips. If authorities ever caught him, he's like, hey, you're going to take me in? I got some artworks right here for you.
That was really good.
However, there was one glaring problem. There was just no evidence that ever ended up linking Bulger to the heist or any of the other connections. It was just all speculation. Now, another mob connected, named on the FBI radar, was Carmine Romano, also known as the Shark. He was a Philadelphia gangster.
Ooh.
And it's theorized that the art might have passed through his hands as part of the underworld network. But again, this is all a theory. There's no evidence to support any of this.
Yeah.
There's also another mobster that they had suspicions of, Bobby Donati. He was known as an art thief with connections to both the Italian and Irish mob. Donati is an intriguing figure in this case because just as a member of the mafia, he was familiar with high-value art and antiques. And what's interesting is that Donati allegedly told multiple people in Boston's underworld that he could get his hands on valuable art.
Okay, well that's
but he never specified. Yeah, I was going to be like, I think any mobster can say that and no one would think about it twice.
Yeah, just big talk.
Yeah,
especially when you don't specify what art.
Yeah.
But it would be in 1991, just a year after the heist, that Donati was found murdered with his body showing signs of torture. Just a
Shit.
clear message to the mob. Some say that maybe he orchestrated the heist, or that he knew who was behind it. But his death just leaves a lot of the investigations into a dead end with nothing else to connect him to the missing art. So the FBI keeps investigating for the next decade. They chase multiple leads around the world, including tips and suggestions that the art may have been hidden in Ireland, smuggled to Japan, or just kept in private collections across Europe. Unfortunately, none of this leads ever pan out. But they add to just the, mystery and the speculation.
The hype of it, yeah.
Exactly. One of the more compelling theories suggests that the heist was carried out by a professional crew hired by a wealthy collector. The so-called Dr. No theory, according to his theory, some unknown, highly wealthy individual commissioned for the theft for his own private collection, and that he was willing to pay any price for the thrill of possessing forbidden treasures. This theory, however, it's just a romantic way to look at the art heist. It's purely speculative. There's no solid evidence to support it. In essence, the Gardner Museum had a very big flaw when it came to an investigation. And we talked about that earlier. The flaw, like a blessing and a curse, is the can't touch policy. Because on one hand, it did help preserve Isabella's vision for decades, allowing the public to see the art exactly as she had intended to. But on the other hand, it left the museum vulnerable, just unable to adapt and prepare.
Where things are.
Not just because of that, but because they were not able to update the security system either.
Yeah, because they weren't allowed to add anything.
They were not allowed to remove or add anything. Everything had to stay the same. So whatever security she had in 1924, that's the security system that they had in the late 1990s.
Oh yeah.
So
they were doomed.
I mean, just imagine if the museum had the freedom to change things up, like bulletproof glass, or could have protected the masterpieces.
Yeah.
Or just simply having more guards to patrol the galleries and the security cameras. Maybe they could have covered every blind spot. But because they had to honor Gardner's wishes, the museum was just locked as a time capsule, which left it unprepared for a modern crime of this scale. Honestly, it's just tragic irony. It was a place to build. It was a place built to preserve art. And it was unable to protect itself when it mattered the most.
Yeah. But I mean, also it's who would have ever expected this museum of all places to get stolen from? Relatively small little museum. I don't know. There's bigger places to steal from. I don't know.
But I think when it comes to stealing, it's not necessarily the museum that you go after, but the works of art that you're going after.
They're worth a lot of money.
Yeah. But once again, this is just another layer of the museum's vulnerability. It was outdated technology. In the 1990s, the Gardner Museum security was just way too far from being called sophisticated. The secure cameras did record footage, but they recorded into VHS tapes, which would be overwritten every day. So, unfortunately, if anything suspicious happened earlier that day or just earlier that week, it would be erased by the time that the footage would be needed for, evidence or to investigate. The cameras weren't even actively being monitored. There was just 2 guards, and they would simply review the tapes if an incident occurred. It was just a huge blind spot, and the thieves were aware of it, and they exploited that. Now, they did also have motion sensor alarms, but they only notified the guards. It never went to the cops.
What the hell?
That's good.
So I'm sending to you right now a picture of what that what that looked like.
Okay.
Because it's very straightforward. You know,
Yeah.
March 18th at 1:54, alarm, Dutch room. Someone in the Dutch room investigated immediately.
Immediately.
I like it was gonna immediately question.
I know.
Exclamation!
I think that's
Exclamation!
Yeah. You know, and then it says status alarm, status normal, alarm normal, alarm normal, alarm normal. It just repeats itself over and over again, which no one would have seen.
Minute apart.
Yeah. And no one would have seen because the guards were duct taped in the basement.
That's weird.
Now, there is something that it's kind of endearing. It's kind of cool. I mean, take it as you will. Let me know what you think of it. But if you are to visit the museum nowadays, I'm going to send you a picture of what you would see in some rooms, specifically the rooms that the art was stolen from. You would end up walking into those rooms and you would end up seeing the frames. Empty frames.
See, I take those frames.
Of art. But not if you don't have room in your car.
If you had a small car, you couldn't have the space for that.
So the frames just remain as like a placeholder for the missing works of art as a symbol, hoping that.
But also they can't remove anything, right? So that probably means they can't remove the frames.
They also can't remove the frames.
It's kind of cool.
It is actually.
Now, from their official website, there is a little section that talks about the investigation, and I'll read that to you. I'm also going to send you the link to it so you can check it out for yourself. And it just says, the return of Gardner's works remain a top priority. The museum, the FBI, and the U.S. Attorney's Office are still seeking viable leads that could result in the safe return of the art. The museum is offering a $10 million reward for information leading directly to the safe return of the stolen works.
I found him.
A share of the reward would be given in exchange for information, leading to the restitution of any portion of the works. A separate reward of $100,000 is being offered for the return of the Napoleonic. That's the word. I think so. Eagle Finial. Oh, I think it's in Italian. That's why.
You can type it in the chat too.
It's okay. I'll send you the link. Anyone with information about the stolen artwork should contact the Director of Security Authority, Amor, at 617-278-5114 or reward@gardnermuseum.org. Confidentiality is assured.
Is this still up?
It's still up. I'm sending you the link right now. Oh. This is still, it's a link to the website that talks about the theft.
Yeah.
You can see the pictures. You can see another picture with, 2 empty frames in there.
Yeah.
Never give up.
I'll put this on the website so you can check it out as well. If you also scroll down to the bottom, you can see the 13 stolen works of art that were taken. So you can see exactly what works of art were taken, and then you can click on each of them individually. Yeah, they kind of, I wouldn't say embrace, but they don't try to hide that their museum was, broken into and stolen from.
But also, like, the empty frames and stuff are like
That's kind of.
It is a newly created piece of art, like in and of itself.
I was gonna say that is like art.
It really is.
Wow. Also, I checked. You can get in for free if your name is Isabella. I'm pretty
sure.
Do they check your ID or do you just?
They probably do.
I think so. Yeah, like any form of identification, and you're good.
That's most likely how it works.
My name is Isabella.
Well, we've got an Isabel.
We do, but once again, tickets are $22.
Does it have to be Isabella.
I feel like they might bend it.
For Milo, yeah.
I think it depends who you ask. If you catch them in a good mood. But yeah, tickets are $22.
Not bad.
If you're in the area, I encourage you to check it out. check out their website. It has a lot of information. It really has like 3 different links talking about the heists in different ways. They have a little like recording of like what you would hear if you walk into those rooms. I think it's just really cool.
That is cool.
We should go.
I would totally
We should.
go
That'd be
there.
fun.
Yeah. Haunted road trip.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Just hit all
Go
the
to the
stops.
sanatorium and then to the museum.
Yeah, I
but
would
I'm
do
sure
the
we can
museum
like
after.
add more things
need to
on the
line
way
them.
there and after, you know.
Whoa.
But yeah, I
That's
hope you
really
enjoyed
cool,
the
though.
That is really
Isabella Gardner Museum heist.
Well, thank
Wow.
you.
You're welcome. I am
Yeah,
glad I did
thank
not
you.
pick murder.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's a good thing to end on.
Yeah.
This was a roller coaster
Seriously.
of an episode or a water slide.
Are you saying it because of the roller coasters we covered earlier?
Actually, they were water slides.
Yeah, they were water slides. I just said that right now.
Yeah,
This is
but it's a really
canon
cool
volume.
museum. They still do programs and things like that. I really looked into the website. I'm like, what else do they offer? But yeah, I think, you know, Isabella would be sad that her works of art got stolen,
Yeah.
but I think
Yeah.
overall she'd still be happy with the
It's still
preservation
there.
The
of
fact
her
that
building.
they're still respecting her wishes, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well,
If
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys
I do
enjoyed
think
it.
you should appreciate they're not trying to like replace those
Yeah.
things.
No,
Just leave
and I
them.
do think, like you said, Kai, the frame itself, it's just like a new work of art.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, might be a tragic work of art, but it's
Yeah.
still a work of art.
Very,
Yeah.
very like thought provoking.
No, seriously. I don't know.
And there-
I've
I mean-
recently realized that like so much can just be considered art because like what even is art anyway? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
If
it's
it's
all
all
subjective.
subjective.
If it's
Yeah.
evoking
So-
emotion.
And out of the 13 works of art that were stolen, if I'm correct, 11 of them were works of art like on frames. So there's 11 frames in this museum that are just
Blank.
blank, you know, just they were cut out.
Wow.
Damn.
We got to take a look.
I know, we do.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. All right.
Well, Kai,
Huh?
care to give us a cookie clicker update?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. 646,000 cookies.
We went from
And
13,000
rising. It's almost at
to
650 now. From
650.
30,000 to 650.
Respect.
30,000. Okay, cool.
He's a businessman.
A lot of cookies. Yeah.
A baker.
Huge.
He's running the new crumble cookie.
Crazy.
All right.
Well,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for being
Yeah,
here. Thanks for the surprise.
Thank you for the
Having us.
surprise. Yeah.
We didn't know.
Thank you
like
for
Alexis and I didn't know.
Yeah, Jay was
so-
like, "Do not say anything. Don't open the link until I tell you." to."
Why was this a surprise? Like, why? like, love it, but why?
I don't know. It was literally a last minute thing.
I mean,
I think it was
it's
just
cute.
impulsive.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
it's really cute. Yeah,
Glad to
thanks for
be
being
here.
here, guys.
Yeah.
That was
Um,
fun.
Sabina knew like a couple days in advance. Mila
Mhm.
knew today.
I just got here.
So this was as much of a surprise for Mila as it was to you.
Love
Okay. Love it.
Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week with Old News Nonsense.
Oh, yes.
it. Yeah.
If you were drinking alcohol with us, hydrate now,
Yes, please.
Drink just as much water,
if not more.
if not more.
Stay
And-
hydrated, folks.
One more.
Straighten your
Totally.
back out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fix your
that
posture.
was a call out.
You
Take a
are
deep
now
breath.
manually breathing.
No.
Goodbye.
All right. Good night, guys. Bye.
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 Thanks for listening to Chambers of the Occult. For photos, sources, and anything else mentioned during the episode, check out our website at chambersoftheoccult.com. You'll find everything you need there if you do find yourself wanting more. You can also follow us on all of our socials at Chambers of the Occult and on Twitter at COTO Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, recommendations, personal anecdotes, or concerns, let us know. Fill out our contact form on our website, email us at chambersoftheoccult@gmail.com, or leave us a message on our socials. We would love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed what you heard, we would greatly appreciate it if you could drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. It is absolutely the best way to show your support, and it would mean the world. Until next time.